Marcus sat frozen at the restaurant table, his hand covering his mouth as the woman approached it. Couldn't be the same honey-brown hair pulled back in a ponytail, the same graceful way of moving, even the dress. That cream-colored dress looked like something Rachel would have worn for a moment. His heart stopped completely, then reality crashed back and Rachel was gone. She'd been gone for 4 years. This wasn't her. It couldn't be. But the resemblance was staggering. The woman reached his table and smiled uncertainly. "Marcus, I'm Natalie." Her voice was different, that helped somehow made her real instead of a ghost. "Hi," he managed, lowering his hand. "Sorry, you reminded me of someone for a second." Natalie's expression shifted to concern as she sat down. "Are you all right? You look like you've seen a ghost close enough to the truth." "I'm fine," Marcus lied. "It's nice to meet you, but it wasn't fine." Nothing about this was fine. His best friend Derek had set up this blind date, insisting it was time for Marcus to start living again. "Your son needs to see his dad happy." Derek had said you can't mourn forever. Marcus had finally agreed, mostly to stop the nagging, but he hadn't expected this. Natalie settled into her chair, studying him with dark eyes that were nothing like Rachel's blue ones. "At least there was that difference, so Derek tells me you're in software development?" "Yeah," Marcus said, trying to focus. "I manage a team at a tech startup downtown." "That sounds interesting." The conversation felt stilted. Awkward. Marcus couldn't stop staring, couldn't stop seeing Rachel in every gesture, every tilt of Natalie's head. It was torture. "What about you?" he asked, forcing himself to participate. "I'm an interior designer," Natalie said. "I specialize in residential renovations." Rachel had loved decorating their home, had spent hours poring over paint samples and furniture catalogs. Marcus felt his throat tighten. "That's nice." Natalie's smile faltered. "You know, if this is a bad time, we don't have to do this." "No, I'm sorry," Marcus said quickly. "I'm just having an off night." "Is it because I look like someone?" She was perceptive. Marcus appreciated that even as he dreaded the conversation. "My wife," he admitted, late wife. "She passed away 4 years ago. And you have a similar look." Understanding flooded Natalie's face. "Oh God, I'm so sorry. Derek didn't tell me. He probably doesn't see it," Marcus said. "And honestly, it's not your fault. I should have been prepared for this kind of thing eventually." They sat in awkward silence for a moment. The restaurant hummed around them. Other couples laughing and enjoying their evenings. Marcus felt like he was drowning. "What was her name?" Natalie asked quietly. "Rachel, tell me about her." Marcus looked up sharply. "What? Tell me about Rachel," Natalie repeated. "Maybe if you talk about her, I'll become less of a ghost and more of a person." It was a strange request, but also kind. Marcus found himself wanting to honor it. "She was a teacher," he began slowly. 3rd grade. "She loved her students, used to bring home stories about them every day." Natalie listened without interrupting. She made everything feel lighter somehow. Marcus continued. "Even when things were hard, she found something to laugh about. She was the optimistic one. I was always the worrier." "How did you meet?" "College. She literally ran into me in the library, knocked a whole stack of books out of my hands. She was mortified. I was charmed." A real smile tugged at Marcus's lips. "For the first time that evening. We were married for 8 years before she got sick. Pancreatic cancer. By the time they found it, there wasn't much they could do." "I'm so sorry. Our son Nathan was only 3 when she died." Marcus said. "He's 7 now, and sometimes I see him trying to remember her face, and it breaks my heart all over again." Natalie reached across the table and touched his hand gently. "That's the hardest part, isn't it? Watching them forget." Something in her tone made Marcus look at her more carefully. "You've lost someone too?" It wasn't a question. Natalie nodded. "My fiancé, car accident 5 years ago. We were supposed to get married that summer." "I'm sorry. It's why Derek set this up." Natalie said. "He and my brother are friends. They thought 2 broken people might understand each other. Instead, I made you into a ghost." "You didn't," Natalie said firmly. "You just saw someone you loved." "There's nothing wrong with that." Marcus looked down at her hand, still resting on his. It was a kind gesture from a stranger who understood grief in a way most people didn't. "Do you want to start over?" Natalie asked. "Pretend the last 10 minutes didn't happen? I don't know if I can unsee it. Try," she encouraged. "Ask me something you actually want to know." Marcus thought for a moment. "Do you ever feel guilty?" he asked, "about trying to move on?" Natalie's expression grew serious every single day. "I feel like I am betraying him somehow. Like I should be able to love him forever and never want anyone else, but people keep telling you that life goes on and that he'd want you to be happy, which is probably true but doesn't make it easier. Not at all." They looked at each other and something shifted. Not attraction, not yet, but recognition. Two people standing in the same valley of grief, trying to find their way out. The waiter arrived, breaking the moment they ordered food. Neither of them was particularly hungry for. As the evening progressed, Marcus found himself relaxing slightly. Natalie was easy to talk to once he stopped seeing Rachel in her features. She was funny in a dry, self-deprecating way. She was smart, asking questions that made him think, and she was honest about her own struggles with loss and loneliness. "My brother keeps setting me up," Natalie admitted over dessert. "He thinks I've been alone too long." "What do you think?" "I think I'm terrified," she said simply. "What if I can never love anyone the way I loved Michael? What if I'm just broken now?" Marcus understood that fear intimately. "Nathan asked me last week why other kids have moms and he doesn't," Marcus said. "I didn't know what to tell him." "What did you say?" "That his mom loved him so much. She's watching over him from heaven," Marcus said. "Which is what you're supposed to say." But I could see he wanted something more concrete. Kids deserve honesty. "Yeah, but how do you explain death to a 7-year-old in a way that doesn't terrify them?" "I don't think you can," Natalie said. "You just love them through it." They lingered over coffee longer than necessary. The restaurant began to empty around them. Finally, Marcus checked his watch. "I should get back. My mom is watching Nathan, and she has an early morning tomorrow." Of course, they walked out together into the cool evening air. Marcus's car was parked near Natalie's. "Thank you," she said as they reached her vehicle. "For what?" "For being honest," Natalie said, "for not pretending everything was fine when it clearly wasn't." "I'm sorry about the whole ghost thing. Don't be," she said. "I've been the ghost at plenty of events. The dead fiancé people whisper about. It's nice to be on the other side for once." Marcus smiled despite himself. "You want to know something strange?" "What?" "By the end of the night, I stopped seeing the resemblance." He admitted. "You became Natalie instead of a shadow of someone else." "Is that good or bad?" "I'm not sure yet." Natalie pulled her keys from her purse.